What's up, guys, and welcome back to another episode of Watch It in Action. I'm BouseFeenux, and today we're going to be taking a look at the dual pistols, the AkJagara. This is a really cool weapon, and I was really excited to make a video on it because I don't feel like a lot of people use this weapon, and a lot of people are turned off by the amount of resources it takes to create it, and we'll cover that here in a second. But first off, you need to know that this is a weapon that's based on the design of the Tigris and the Redeemer. It kind of has that bladed look to it like the other ones do. The only thing that's different about this one in terms of looks is, fun fact, it's the only one with an asymmetrical design. So on one pistol the blade is on the bottom, and on the other one it's on the top. So it's kind of cool. It's like they would almost fit together, but really neat weapon. I like it a lot. It's a slash-based weapon, and it has the cool characteristic of being one of the few weapons in the game that has multiple pellet count, so multi-shot, without needing a multi-shot mod. So it has innate multi-shot, which is really cool. And if you put a multi-shot mod on it, which we're going to do, it's going to increase its effectiveness even further and give you even more pellets. So this is a slash-based weapon. It's got decent status, but that status is kind of inflated by the already innate pellet count, and we'll see that here in a second. But as you can see here, I mean, it's a pretty nice weapon. The one thing that really, like I said, turns people off about this one is it requires a whopping total of 6 fully built weapons to make this thing. So in my opinion, there are other weapons that are easier to make that perform better than this one, but I like this weapon a lot. It's a lot of fun, and if you like the whole Tigris Redeemer thing, you're going to love these guns. So that being said, I got a build put together for you guys. Let's check it out real quick. So right here we see right away, this is as you know, it takes a lot to build this weapon, but you don't need to invest a whole lot of Forma into it to fit a decent build on it, and that's pretty much what we put together here. Just going across the top, you see we've got Hornet Strike. That's going to be our pistol. It's almost like Serration for pistols, but it's actually got the 220% damage, which is pretty nice. Lethal Torrent's going to give us extra fire rate and multi-shot. Barrel Diffusion is going to give us even more multi-shot, so we're going to have an insane pellet count, because this weapon, like I said, already has innate multi-shot. And it's got these 2 mods on it, which is going to increase that multi-shot even further. I'm using steady hands on this because this weapon has crazy recoil, and there's a trick that I want to show you that some of you new players may not know yet, but I want to show you some cool things you can do with this weapon that involves changing your controls around. We'll see that here in a sec, but steady hands is kind of necessary for this weapon. You can also use pistol ammo mutation if you want, but to manage the recoil of this thing, you're going to want this on here. I've gone for a dual, kind of a hybrid elemental build where we're doing a little bit of status chance and a little bit of 90% elementals. If you add more 90% elements, it's going to require you to put on more Forma, which some people may not be willing to invest that much into this weapon. And this build performs really well. We were just using it in a T3 Exterminate there is what you saw, and it was tearing enemies apart. It does a pretty good job. So that's status chance plus a slash, and then if you put corrosive and heat on it, it's going to do pretty well against armored targets. It does even better if you have a squad of corrosive projections, and that's going to allow you to go into a later part of the game, fight higher level enemies, stuff like that. So taking a look at the stats here, we notice this thing has almost no critical chance at all, no critical multiplier really. 5% crit chance, definitely not worth building around for crit. The magazine, it's got a 24 round magazine, which is really nice, especially when we do what I'm about to show you here in a second. The reload is kind of slow at 2.3. If you want, you can swap the steady hands out for a reload mod. That's up to you. It's all player preference. Status here is 80%. Now, this is a decent status, but that status is going to be spread out across all this multi-shot we have. So, again, the weapon has innate multi-shot, and then we put all this multi-shot on it. You're going to get a lot of pellets, but that status is going to be spread out among them. The good thing about this weapon is it's fairly accurate, so a lot of those pellets are going to connect, making this status chance pretty reliable. So as far as the physical damage types go, we got a little bit of impact, a little bit of puncture, not really enough to build around, and then our main damage physical type is going to be coming in the form of slash. Now, I've put a heat and corrosive build on this. You guys can use any elements you want, as long as they're, you have 260% elementals that give you status and elemental damage, and then you got your 90% as well. So all this being said, I want to take it out, and I want to show you guys this weapon here in the controlled environment. Now, a note about my builds, guys. My builds are not the end-all, be-all. I find them to be very effective. I've developed them over the time I've spent with my community. Everything that goes up here is something that, a lot of people have seen, and a lot of people have, commented on and used and stuff like that. So, just when you see it in the video here, it's not the, these builds aren't the end-all, be-all, is essentially what I want to say. I highly, highly, highly encourage you to experiment with a bunch of different stuff, see what you like and what fits your playstyle, because what I've got here is basically something that fits my playstyle, and I like it a lot. And I feel like this build is pretty general anyway, but As you can see here, these guys are level 90, and we're just kind of destroying them. I know they're corrupted butchers, and these are some of the weaker enemies of the, you know, of the corrupted type, but, I mean, still, though, 600 damage a shot with all those pellets is pretty nice. So I want to show you guys one other thing, too, something that you can play around with. If you haven't tried this before, there's a couple weapons that do this, but go into your options and change your key bindings. This is if you're on PC. I don't know how this works if you're on consoles, but on PC you can do this. So go to Fire Weapon, and you'll have two slots right here. You can do mouse wheel down, and then I want you to turn the other one to mouse wheel up. And then go ahead and escape from there, and then confirm, and you're good to go. Then aim the weapon and start firing. Now, doing this, you're gonna burn through your ammo pretty quickly. That's why I recommend that ammo mutation. Or if you're using, you know, pads, ammo pads, that's really nice. That's gonna help you out a lot. But this thing, this method here requires you, or allows you to deliver a lot of DPS in a very short amount of time. The only thing, like I said, is you're gonna be running through ammo like it's, you know, like it's candy. So that's where the steady hands kind of comes into play. If you're not using steady hands with this, it's just going to go everywhere. But as you can see here, I can keep a pretty good bead on whatever target I'm shooting at. And the weapon's 24-round magazine kind of accommodates this little play style we got here. But if you guys haven't tried that, it's a lot of fun. I know a couple of weapons off the top of my head that do this. The Maradetron you can do this with. That's pretty fun. And I'm not really thinking of any off the top of my head. Don't try to do this with charged weapons as like the Lenka or like a bow or something like that, because it's going to be really weird. So if you're done playing with this, just switch it back to, you know, how you normally have it, like mouse 1 or whatever. But I really hope you guys have enjoyed watching this video. You know, I make these builds for, you know, my community and stuff like that, because a lot of people ask me about them. I hope that, you know, I've gotten a lot of good comments, a lot of good feedback and stuff like that. But if there's a build you guys don't like, or if something doesn't fit you, change it. Use these builds as a base. Warframe is about experimentation, and the game is extremely deep, so it really plays well to that. But I hope you guys have enjoyed this video. I hope you learned something about it. I'll be back tomorrow with another one, and until then, thank you guys so much for watching, and have a good night.